days of no running. Good evening, my name is Dougal and I'm a recovering runner. I have not run now for 8 days.
Miss running. I miss running. I miss running. I haven't run for 8 days. 8 days. 8 days of no running.
Okay, so what's been happening? It's March the 16th. We are 6 weeks away from a marathon. Haven't run for 8 days, did I mention that? 2 weeks ago, ran the London Landmarks half. It was good. Used it as a training run, ran it in about 1:43:43. And my little ankle / foot injury that I picked up sort of 5 or 6 weeks prior to that flared up again, quelle surprise, because I ran it hard. The particular tendon called the peronis. Hang on a second. The peronis forus. Oh my goodness. Peronis longus, the peronis longus tendon. Cue picture of cutaway of schematic diagram of peronis longus tendon. So yeah, I've got I slightly sprained my peronis longus tendon. I love saying that when I went over on my foot ankle wearing Nike Alpha Flies the first time I ever put them on my feet. So this little injury kept me out of regular running before the London Landmarks half, and basically so after the Landmarks half it didn't feel brilliant, but after I'd iced it, rested it for a couple of days, I went back to really super gentle running because I'm desperate to build up the mileage for the oncoming marathon. So managed a little run on the Tuesday, super easy, heart rate really low in zone 2. Managed another little run on the Thursday, again super easy, heart rate super low. And then tried to do another super easy but slightly longer run on the Saturday. So the plan was to go from 23k, which I managed on the day of the London Landmarks half, up to about 25k, and then I would slowly increase the mileage again. But basically foot wasn't having any of it. It was sore, had to stop after about 18k, wasn't happy, ended up having to walk home. It just wasn't healed, and I realised again I've been going through this runner's denial really, that I've had an injury. I've been sort of just ignoring it, hoping it will go away if I could sort of run easy, but it wasn't getting any better. So I decided to put a cap in it, to stop running for a bit, and that was 8 days ago. And I should, foot feels great now. I haven't had pain in it for about 3 or 4 days. Should really be back to running, but I suffered the most middle-class possible injury you could possibly have. Basically, went up to see my in-laws, and in an attempt to show off, we took with us our pizza oven, our wood-burning pizza oven, which is a great little middle-class thing to have. Cooks a pizza in about 6 minutes, and it tastes amazing. Anyway, loading that in the car on the way home, just picked it up. It's really heavy, did my back in. Should have asked for help, it's my own fault. Ego thought I could just lift it easily, put it in the car, just didn't lift it properly. So lower back's been an issue, just a sign of my age. So on top of the peronis longus injury, I've also had my back. So just as one was getting better, the other one kind of took over. So it's not been the greatest of Easter holidays in terms of running. I thought I'd be racking up the mileage, racking up the kilometerage. And in actual fact, as I say, I haven't run for 8 days. It's now March the 16th. I've got 6 weeks until my marathon. The 2 longest runs I've done in the last 6 weeks have been the Wokingham half and the London Landmarks half, both of which are very hard half efforts. And this is what seems to happen to me and with marathons. Because marathons, to run a marathon well, you need consistency in your training. You need consistent mileage, you need consistent high mileage. And I just don't seem to be able to get that. If I look the months this year, had ran 300 kilometers in January, that was awesome, but then February and March and now April I'm looking at running really about 150 kilometers max for all 3 months, and that's way below my my normal level, and it's just not enough. So what am I going to do? Well, I think what I'm going to have to do is just readjust my goals. I'm not pulling out of this one. This is my sort of third attempt, as I say, of running a marathon full out. I think I'm just going to have to do it to get through it, and it may well be that in doing it, because my mileage is not going to be brilliant in 6 weeks, it'll be as good as I can get it to. It may well be that I do myself a bit of damage running it, but que sera, what will be will be. I think I just have to get it done, have to get through it, and we'll see what happens. What else has been going on? Well, in the interim, I will share one little positive thing with you and quit the moaning. So, something I think I alluded to in one of my other training vlogs was the fact that I struggle sleeping. I've struggled with sleeping pretty much all my life. Mostly, I think I really noticed it kicking in when I got to university, and I found that whatever time I would go out, and I would go out a lot at university, as most students do. Whatever time, however late I would stay out, I would always wake up at 6-7 o'clock in the morning. Whatever happened, my brain would just wake me up. I was just thought, well, that's just circadian rhythms. I'm a morning person, but it would mean that if I'd stayed out very late, I would be very, very tired the next day, because I would always be up at 6-7 o'clock. I'm just not one of these people. I don't think I've ever really been able to have what's called a lie in hand. Maybe 3, 4, 5 in my entire life. That's just me. But as I've got older, recently I've been suffering more from early waking. Getting to sleep is never a problem, but I can quite often wake sort of any time from midnight, really, between midnight and 4 o'clock. I wake up and that's it. Can't get back to sleep again. I usually wake up because I need the loo, and obviously the one of the most important things when you are regular training, you need good sleep. Getting a good night's sleep is as important as anything you do training wise, really, because when you sleep you recover and you rebuild to a higher level, and if you're not getting 7+ hours sleep a night, recommended, I think health experts recommend 7 to 9 hours, really 8 hours really, you should be getting if you're training a lot. Anyway, I've been getting nowhere near that, and that, you know, that could well be a contributing factor as to why I've been injured, and you know, on top of that, could be a contributing factor as to why I have had so many illnesses and so many bugs. So I think that is largely due to the fact I just work with small children and they are just little germ bags, and I catch a lot of bugs from them. But anyway, so the sleep got so bad, and I was suffering so much from it. I was suffering at work, not quite all there, kept forgetting things, my mood was all over the place, got really, really down. I was getting snappy at home, wasn't really in a good place. So eventually I managed to get an appointment to see a doctor, and I managed to see him just the day after the London Landmarks Half. Actually, I went in and I told him all this, and he was absolutely fantastic. He didn't fob me off, and what he didn't do was give me a long list of things that everyone says, oh, have you tried this, have you tried that, have you tried this? Well, I'll put a list on the screen of things that people recommend that you do for insomnia, and I can tell you, I've tried them all, and some of them have worked for short periods, but ultimately they just, you know, it comes back again to the pattern of me early waking. Other things I've tried on top of that, I should say, I've tried melatonin for the last 3 years as a natural supplement, and melatonin is something that we produce less of, particularly men, as we get older. So I've been taking some of that, which works really well, but even that was starting to not work as well. He listened really carefully and said, right, well, we'll test you for everything. If you're waking up in the middle of the night, we'll have a look at your, we'll do a urine sample, and we'll do blood tests, we'll test for everything really. Got the results back, and basically I was normal across most things, which was relieving, but the one thing I was quite low on was vitamin D. So the main symptoms of vitamin D deficiency are joint bone pain, which I obviously had my injury at the time, but it is something that I've definitely have been suffering from more and more recently. Definitely been noticing my limbs have been feeling worse after runs. I've not been recovering as easily. Lack of sleep, not being able to sleep well, increased frequency of illness, and irritability, depression, mood, all of that. So I had basically all of the main symptoms, and so As I say, I haven't been back to the doctor yet. I've got an appointment in a couple of weeks, so I'll post my follow-up. But I thought, well, a fairly easy quick fix is to start taking vitamin D supplements. Now, vitamin D is what we call a fat-soluble vitamin, not a water-soluble one. So vitamin C is water-soluble. You can basically take as much of it as you like. You can't overdose on it, you just wee it out. Vitamin D is fat-soluble, and yeah, you can overdose on it, so you've got to be careful. So I've been taking over the recommended daily amount, but that isn't a problem. I've been taking about 2,000 UI, or universal units, I think it's called, and I've tried that for a week, and we'll see what happens. And the sleep has been okay. I should say also the doctor prescribed me some short-term sleeping pills just to kind of try and break that cycle of waking up in the middle of the night. Sleeping pills is not something I would recommend using for any length of time. I've always been really careful, cautious of it, because if it's something that you then become reliant on, well, then you're hooked and you've got to keep taking them, and that's something I'd never want to do. But I did try the sleeping pills the doctor gave me, and they worked for one night, and then the next night I was back wide awake again. And they also made me feel really nauseous. So I did try them for 4 nights, and then stopped because they weren't really working. Anyway, vitamin D supplements. So far, well, I've only been doing them for a week, so I can't really tell fully, but I have slept pretty well for that week. So we'll just see. I'll keep it. It's just, I don't think it's something that's necessarily going to go away, but maybe it is something that I don't know. So yeah, I've been trying. So I'll keep taking them until I see the doctor again, and maybe he'll prescribe me something similar, or maybe he won't. Maybe there's something in the test results that wasn't immediately obvious from what they sent me through. And you know, if anyone out there is suffering from anything similar, from insomnia, I just encourage you to go and see somebody about it. It was at its highest for me, at its peak, during the first lockdowns, in the first and second lockdown. And at that time, of course, you couldn't get an appointment at all for anything unless you were, you know, basically dying. So I just kind of pushed it all to the back and just forgot really that I could see somebody about it. And so I probably should have gone a while ago. And then again, it's something that sometimes it goes with waves for me. Sometimes I'll have like a couple of weeks which are really bad, or like 1 week which is bad, and then I'll have a better week and I'll just sort of forgotten it really. So but yeah, no, I do encourage you, like, just get it checked out if you can. It only took me about 5 weeks to get an appointment, and then, as I say, once I was in there, it was really good, and you're then on the system. Yeah, just to finish off, I did manage to get out for a bike ride, my first bike ride in about 7 months, I think I worked out, on the old bike. So that was good. And in the absence of being able to run, I'm going to try, well, certainly biking to work for a bit, and because that doesn't seem to hurt my back too much, so I can keep that. At least that'll keep some aerobic fitness going, and I'll just get back to running as soon as I can. So that's my bi-weekly update really. So nothing exciting. Yeah, the only thing to add at the end is it's been the Manchester Marathon today, and the Rotterdam Marathon, and I think it's Boston tomorrow, and then the London Marathon after that. So because I'm associated with a running club and I know lots of runners, everyone's out there smashing it out the park and setting amazing PBs, which is brilliant, and I'm super happy for them because they've been working super hard. But it does make me feel, yeah, just a little bit of runner's envy, and longing for the day when I can get back out there. But I will get back out there. I will get better. I have lots of plans for building it all back in slowly. This marathon in 6 weeks, it will happen. I will get it done. It may not be my finest piece of running, but I'll get it done, and I'm going to use it on the journey to becoming a better runner. And if this enforced break gives my body a chance to reset, and not running is good for me for a bit, then I can, build back with a bit of strength, get myself ready to run, get the strength and conditioning going, and hopefully come back stronger and build the mileage up slowly again, and take it from there. So that's my training update. I hope you're staying well, safe. Let me know if you've had any similar experiences and how you've dealt with injuries, or even how you've dealt with managing high mileage and training if you've got any sleep issues yourselves. But until then, you're only racing yourself. Take care.